Aquariums are simultaneously one of the best investments I've ever made and something I will never financially recover from. When I discovered the world of freshwater planted aquariums, I was instantly mesmerized by the diversity of aquascapes and the variety of flora and fauna you could keep in these little worlds that you created. Sometimes, though, these creations result in necessary evils such as cleaning, and that cleaning can include smells that make you feel sick. Before I can even consider cleaning the aquariums, a little bit of editing magic is going to have to help me clean up the clutter of daily life. Unfortunately, I am no saint and I do make messes. Anyway, this is a perfect time to just say hi. My name's Tristan. I hope you're doing well and I hope you found my channel well. Today's video is really just an introduction and a cleaning. I know it's not necessarily the most interesting of things, but I do hope that you stick around. In my normal day-to-day life, I am a bookkeeper, but as a hobby, I have been keeping planted aquariums for roughly 13 years now. I'm also a woodworker, which is actually where the namesake of the channel came from. My hope is to produce both videos related to aquarium keeping and aquarium builds, as well as videos related to furniture builds. In many ways, this channel is really just a log of my various hobbies and the things that I do within them. My hope is that somehow and in some way, these will inspire you to maybe join in on one or both of the hobbies, just like how many of the other larger YouTubers inspired me to join in myself. We all start somewhere, and time by no means makes you a master. I'm still learning every single day, and this is just my way of documenting the learning process. But I could talk about my desires for this channel for hours. To explain what's going on in the background, I'm currently filling up the tank with some RO water. As I do this, I'm somewhat reminded that these little tasks that we do for our aquariums are really the basis of the enjoyment for them. While yeah, you can sit there and just stare at the tank, and that is enjoyable in and of itself, there's something gratifying about actually getting in and cleaning it up and making sure that the homes of these little creatures are well maintained so that they can be happy. It's also pretty fun slapping stuff into a bucket too. The trimming of the stem plants is something that happens so frequently that oftentimes between all of my tanks, I will fill up the 5-gallon bucket with just extra cuttings of all these different Rutalas and Ludwigias and whatnot. And while it's really fun, there is part of me that feels bad because I know these plants are working really hard to keep the tanks clean, and here I am just trimming them away and throwing them away because aesthetically, I don't like them where they are. It's kind of interesting too because the fish almost protest in their own way because oftentimes these plants are their domain, so to them, I'm this alien that's just coming in and taking away part of their home. But nonetheless, they don't attack me, they just kind of relent and deal with the change in the environment. In many ways, I think that we as humans do the same. We don't necessarily fight all the changes in our life because there's a point where you realize that change is inevitable. But I think that's enough on the philosophy. I'm not sure what you came here for, and then again, you may have come here hoping for that, but we should also probably talk about the fish. In this tank, there's actually a singular epistogramma 3-stripe that I'm pretty sure is a female, but honestly, I can't tell because it's too young. From there, there's a little group of red neon blue eye rainbow fish and a duo of salt and pepper Corydoras. But if you notice now, you're gonna see that I am absolutely struggling trying to remove these pipes from this filter. For some reason with this design with Oase, despite them being great filters, that specific little cap that plugs in can be the biggest pain of the whole filter. But you know what? It's something you deal with when you have good everywhere else. There's always going to be some detractor. But right here, this shot, right now, is probably the one that I am most proud of, because I thought all on my own how to do this with my camera, and while it may seem goofy, I just think there's something really cool about the fact that I'm not actually holding the camera, I'm just holding the filter. But now we turn into the really not fun part of fish keeping, and that's cleaning a filter. If you let a filter sit long enough, this one sat off for about a month, they will emit an odor that will ruin your day. It is the worst, most foul smelling thing. And honestly, I don't really like looking at it either. So I think what we're going to do is go ahead and try and speed this up, or maybe throw in some B-roll of something. Oh yeah, like these guys. These are my tangerine tiger shrimp. They're actually about 12 of them, if I remember correctly. I'm having low to moderate success breeding them. And I think it's just because I haven't nailed the parameters yet. Checking back on the filter, yeah, it's still gross. So let's go back. Here they are from another angle, get some real artsy shots so that you can see the tank from above the water and below the water. You can also see that the Java fern is moving in the top. That is because at this point, the filter was already back on and put together. This shot is out of sequence. And here I am finishing up, buttoning up by grabbing all these little pebbles. Inside of these filters, and pretty much every filter I use Seachem Matrix, the biological filtration media. I've just found that compared to most of the other things I've personally tried, it works the best. I've had little to no issue with it. And while I do feel a little goofy sometimes buying a $30 pail of rocks, at the end of the day, my tanks are clear and my fish are happy. And if this is something that aids in my tanks being clear or the fish being happy, then I'm happy with it. Now for the second most fun part of cleaning. And honestly, I'd probably say it's the worst part of cleaning a filter. Cleaning the intake and output pipes. Cleaning the filter lines themselves and the intake and output and these little white UNS quick disconnects has to be some of the most fickle and annoying parts about cleaning a filter. But once again, it has to be done. Sometimes you do the things that you just do not enjoy because you enjoy the rest of the hobby. If I could find a way to make never clogging and completely algae free input and output pipes for a canister filter, I would pay so much money to have something like that. Anyway, to continue talking about the channel while this goes on, like I said, I'm hoping to do some woodworking videos as well. These would include things like building aquarium stands, but also building other furniture. Currently on my docket for things that needs to get done, I have to build a bed frame and I guess you consider it like a coffee bar. something along those lines. It's really more so an appliance hutch because I'm just trying to get stuff out of a closet that's completely stuffed. So we'll see. But those are some of the various things that I'm looking at doing in the future. I also have some other things coming up for the aquarium side as well. Different shrimp colonies that I like to keep. Currently I have a handful. And here we come back with the amazing shot once again as I hit a door. And you can see that I am just so proud of the fact that I can carry this filter by the bottom and that camera is just magically floating in front of me. And then look, wait for it, from a second angle. Then again, that's kind of bouncy. But now I'm just putting the filter back and getting everything set up. Unfortunately, one difficulty about the tank being where it is there's no way to put the filter under it, and canister filters really do rely a lot on gravity. So having it up next to it like this isn't a problem per se, but there's one thing that I have to do to start it that I do not enjoy, and you are about to see it in a few seconds. And that is that I have to pull this bucket up and I have to create a vacuum for the inlet pipe. And if you have been a fish keeper for any amount of time, you know exactly how you do that. I wish there was some way to prime these without having to do that. I know that with some of the models, if I fill them up with water, it's not a big deal. But nonetheless, it's done. It's over. I close it off and fill it up. At this point, the actual canister itself is empty. So you're going to see when I turn it, that output pipe's going to just bubble. That's because the input is filling up the canister itself. And because the canister is at least a couple inches below the water level, gravity's just pressing the water into it. Here I'm plugging it in. Obviously, you can tell that I'm plugging it in. You'll notice that there was actually two plugs. That's because this specific canister filter has the heater also in it. And there we go. It's starting to run. Now, one thing, if you're watching closely, he doesn't come into a clear view very often, but you might see this little golden blob just kind of zipping around the tank. That is a singular Japan blue gold guppy. He was born without any blue. His body is fully gold. And his dorsal fin actually has this really cool kind of butterfly look to it. I'm not entirely sure what that is because I am in fact not a guppy person. I don't really keep guppies outside of the one strain. But I just thought he was really interesting and knew that, okay, well, I don't want to ever get rid of him, so I decided to move him to a separate tank. Here I'm doing the super fun task of removing algae. I don't usually remove all of it just because for me, a clean tank and a pristine tank are kind of divorced from each other. A pristine tank would obviously sit there and remove all the algae, but I'd also be doing a bunch of other little things too, like all the little brown tips on the leaves of the plants I'd be getting rid of and stuff like that. But for me, I feel like it all kind of adds to the ambiance of the tank. Obviously not having, just completely melted and dead plants everywhere, but having the different growth stages where you can really see like, oh, yeah, that plant might need a little bit more of a fertilizer to it or something. But at the same time, in nature, it would probably look similar to that because nobody fertilizes nature. You'll also notice that in the back right-hand side of the tank, I've got some Ludwigia. I do not remember the specific one. It was something diamond. But I have some Ludwigia that's growing up, and I will be cutting that down soon. And you may also see that I've got a CO2 checker in the top right corner, and that's not actually because I needed one. I used to have CO2 on this tank, but now I just run this tank as a low-tech setup, and I enjoy it so much more because it's just one less thing that I have to focus on. High-tech tanks are a lot of fun as well, but as I finish up cleaning up this tank, I'm going to go ahead and turn on some nice music and let you enjoy the fish. This is that female hillstream loach that I was referencing, and you can actually see the little golden guppy that I was talking about too for a second there. I've got some new projects on the horizon, and I hope you're looking forward to their videos. They'll be coming out soon. Also, some projects might actually send you to the ER depending on what you're doing. Much like the title of the video said, cleaning never really stops with any of these tanks. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. See you again soon.